Hello my friends, welcome to Pram Strings. I'm Henriette and today is day 37 of the Virtual Violin Practice Playalong. I can't imagine that we've been going for this long, and I'll tell you that this week these last lessons are going to be working towards a completely rounded you because we are going to come out of lockdown next week. So these last lessons are the last ones in this series. So I'm so glad you're here. Today we are going to practice some bow squeezing and some dotted rhythms. We're also going to go over our position changes again, and then we're going to be thinking about some double stops and some chords. That is an aspect of violin playing that I would like to take you through in this course as well. And then we're going to make our improvisation at the end of this lesson really interesting by making good endings. By learning to play how you can end your improvisation in a really super way. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start today by tuning up your violin. Here is your A. Your E string. This is your D string. G. Now let's practice your strings in double stops, A and E. And D and A. And G and D. Lovely, and that warms us up for the double stops that are going to come later in this lesson. Now we're going to start today by practicing our bow squeezing. So check out your bow hold for me. So you've got your thumb bent. You've got a nice finger width space between your index finger and your middle finger, and these two middle fingers are together, and then you've got another nice finger width space, and of course your little finger is on the side edge there. If you can do this holding your bow vertically, that's absolutely fine. So see if you can squeeze and release your fingers like this. Do that at your own pace. Some people want to do it more slowly than others. That's okay. And if you find that very challenging, try it when your bow is upright, because for some that is easier. And you might also move your bow towards the ceiling while you squeeze, and stretch your fingers while you drop the bow down, and up, squeeze, and down, release. So do your version, either horizontally, just keeping the bow still like that, and squeeze and release your fingers. That will warm up the muscles in your hand nicely, or you can go up and then down, your version. Good. Remember, if your fingers get tired or your hand feels tired, just give it a little shake, and then we'll do it one more time. Up, squeeze, down, release, and then keep your shoulder down if you can as well, or just holding the bow flat, squeezing and releasing. And we need this squeezing and releasing because we're going to play our dotted bow stroke. Now I'll play you this as an example, and perhaps you can join in when you're ready. doing? I'm going down, about 3/4 of the bow, down bow, and now I'm squeezing the bow for a little extra down bow before I go straight up, and now a little extra up bow and an extra down bow, so you can see how I squeeze my bow fingers. Can you join in with me? Here we go. We'll just do an open D string and that's right. Now remember to keep your right shoulder down when we do this. Very nice. Well done. That was a super warm-up of your bowing technique. Now let's go into our position changes. Now today we're going to combine going all the way up to the 8th position and then going back, I don't know if you remember, from the top, down 1, then down 2, back up to the top, then down 3, back up to the top. And today we're going to do that in the key of B major, and it will sound like this. Like that. And this is how, that's the only thing that changes, is that my 3rd note is now a D sharp. So we're playing B, C sharp, D sharp. Alright, can you join in with me? Right the way up to the top, and then I'll talk you through as we go along. And back to the top note, and from here we're going a semitone down and then further down and each position down. So here we go, and awesome, very, very good. Now, if you're a little bit confused by this, that is totally understandable. Try it again tomorrow and you'll feel perhaps a lot better about it. It's getting that tune in your head, and once you've got that tune in your head, it becomes a lot easier. So, we are now coming to our double stops, and I just wanted to do some double stops in this course as well, because it is a definite big part of violin playing and we haven't really touched on it at all. Now, before we play double stops, let's just tune our strings again, because when you practice double stops you have to always double check your tuning of your violin, because otherwise, if your violin is not completely in tune, you can probably understand it. It will make the double stops that much harder to play in tune, you see. So let's go on to A and E. Let's just double check the tuning. That's done, we can get started. In my opinion, out of all the double stops that you can practice, the octaves are perhaps the most important ones because they appear in so many pieces of music. So I am very well aware that some of you may not have played any double stops at all, or maybe just occasionally in your music have played double stops. So I'll talk you through as we go along, and what we're going to do is we're going to play a D major scale in octaves, and we're going to play it in broken chords, and I'll show you how that goes. So I'll play an open D string first, and I'll slur it onto 3 fingers on the A string, and then we'll play those 2 notes together. So that sounds like this. Perhaps you can join in with me. So an open D string, then 3 fingers on A, and those 2 to get together. So this is a D played in octaves. Next up is an E. So my first finger goes onto the D string, and my 4th finger goes onto the A string. Good. The next note in that scale will be F sharp, which would be, if I played it in first position, the 2nd finger on the D string and the 1st finger on the E string, but we can't play those 2 notes together because there is a string in between them. So we're going to go and shift our left hand upper note. So we were here on E, let's play that one again. Now move all of this upper tone, so you go to F sharp. And now move it up a semitone, so I'm just pulling my whole hand as one, I'm pulling it up. So you've just played a G in octaves. Next note of the scale will of course be A, so yes, I can play an open A string again. B, 1 finger and 4 fingers, 1 on A and 4 on E. Shift up. And shift up again. Awesome, well done. So if you've done this before, you know the principle, but if you have never done this before, that's perhaps something new to try. So next we're going to play this same thing again, but we're altering something slightly. So we're playing 2 notes slurred and then a chord, and then we're going to repeat that chord. Okay, so that gives you the opportunity to adjust your fingers if you find yourself playing slightly out of tune. So listen very carefully, and we're going to play the chord again. You see, so we're playing it like this. Practicing the double stop again, and that gives me the opportunity to play better in tune the second time around. Now even if you already play the chord fairly nicely in tune, I would suggest you just wriggle around with your fingers just to double check that you can't get any better than where you already are. So here we go, and listen. Well done. Now if you found that extremely challenging, it might be worth just winding this video back and playing this same way up again and do the exact same thing again so you get some more practice. However, there will be people hopefully here who have already done this in the past. So we're going to take this a step further now, and we're going to go from the top down. So we're starting at the top chord, and then we're going to go down the D major scale, but we're keeping that repeated chord. Here we go. And now that is a really good warming up exercise for our improvisations. And today we're going to do our improvisations in shorter sections again. And I would like you to think about 4 sections now. And we're going to play 3 sections in the same key, in the key of D major today. And our 4th section, we're going to be talking about it again, because we have said we are going to play a more professional ending. And we have been talking also in our previous lessons about the degrees of the scale, and we have practiced 1-5-1. I don't know if you've remembered that. If you haven't yet watched those videos, please go back and watch earlier lessons, perhaps about from day 30 onwards, so that you get prepared for what's coming next. However, if you've been following these lessons, we're going to take this step of 1-5-1 a little bit further now. Now, when we play a proper cadence, and a cadence just means an end section of a piece, so that you feel that this piece is properly ended. A perfect cadence consists of the 1st degree of the scale, which is, in our case, we're playing in D major, the D. Then the 4th degree of the scale, I'll give you a moment to think of which note that might be. The 4th degree of the scale, we're going D, E, F, G, is the G. Then the next bit of our perfect cadence is 5. Now we know already the 5th degree of the D major scale is the A. And then we'll have a 1 again. So we get a sequence of 1, 4, 5, 1. And that reflects the notes D, G, A, D. Now that might be completely mind-boggling to you, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I play in the key of D major, my cadence is going to be D, G, A, D. D, G, and we call that 1, 4, 5, 1, and you can perhaps already imagine how that's going to sound in your piece. Let's aim to play 3 times 4 beats in the key of D major. I'll show you all what I mean in a moment, and then we'll play our cadence at the end. So I might play it like this. My first section of 4 beats. Second section. And now I'm playing my cadence. And perhaps you can recognize 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 1. Doesn't that sound like a nice ending? So I'll give you another example, and I'm just making it up on the spot, and then I'll wait after that so that you can explore this. So I'm playing in the key of D major. cadence. So have a go and explore your own improvisation. I'll give you lots of time. Wow, that's it. And you notice as soon as you hit that perfect cadence, 1-4-5-1, that music sounds like a proper ending, and that is the meaning of the word perfect cadence as well. A proper ending, you can't fit anything after that because it's a proper stop to the music. So, awesome. Let's do another one, shall we? Still in the key of D major. We'll stay in this key for today and probably the next lesson as well. So I'm doing something different now in my improvisation. I'm still connecting the 3 sections and then my 4th is the cadence, but I'm trying to put in some more staccato and legato. Okay. Your go. And I'm hoping that you will notice that you know now how to contrast the staccato and legato bits. It's getting better and better every time, isn't it? The more you practice, the better your result. Well done. Now, again, if you by accident make a mistake and you play a note which is not in the key of D major, and I'm hoping that you've picked it up already, that there were 2 sharps, an F sharp and a C sharp. Okay, if you haven't quite got that yet, here is your cue. And perhaps you can also put some more sequencing in, as you may have heard me do as well. And maybe, who knows, you might put some ornaments in, like trills or other special effects. So I'll give you another example. This time I'm going to start on the top D here, but I'm going to play my cadence at the end, just like we did before. Your go. All right, well done. Now, let's now also experiment a little bit with our louds and softs. So we're doing the same thing again. Here we go. Off you go. Very nice. And I don't know if you've thought about the idea of putting scale passages in or arpeggio patterns, because that is how we all started, isn't it? Recognizing scale patterns and arpeggio patterns, as well as all your dynamics and your special effects, staccato and legato and other performance directions. So in our final improvisation of the day today, let's see how many of these ideas you can pack together inside this little section of music that you're going to improvise. I'll give you an example. Off you go. And I'm hoping that by giving you all these ideas of things that you can do in your improvisation, I am encouraging you to make your improvisations longer. So if you frequently run out of time on this video, that I would suggest is a good thing, because you've got lots of ideas of things that you might be able to do. So I'm hoping that beyond this video you might explore all these ideas for yourself and see, perhaps have a test one day to see how long you can improvise for. So long as you put that cadence 1-4-5-1 at the end, you're going to be able to finish at some point, okay? So you don't need to worry that you cannot stop. You can always play that cadence at the end, and that is the end of that. So very well done today. You've come a long way again today, and I'm so impressed with the progress that you're making. So please join me again in day 38, and we will explore this idea even further. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled that you are still here and following this course. I very much look forward to seeing you again in day 38. Goodbye.